Hello, awesome people. I hope you're having a great day today. Today we're taking a look at Joe Dever's Fire on the Water in the Lone Wolf series. It's the second book in the series. This is the definitive edition that we'll be taking a look at today. This is actually the first one I picked up because they didn't have the first book when I was a kid. It was published and I read it one first and I loved it so much I went and picked up the rest of the series from my local Walden Books. So this was my introduction into the series, the second book, and so forth. So we're taking a look at this book in this game book series. Now, this stuff was very influential, but sold a lot of money, and Joe Dever got he got some money from it. And after the game book craze was over with, and this was one of the best-selling game book series of all time, and there are tons of books in this series. And then he also published some other game books outside of the Lone Wolf series. He in 2000, as a millennial gift, he gave the rights to these to the fans that had been supporting them and so forth. And there is an online place called Project Aeon. Hello, folks. Once again, there is an online website called Project Aeon that has all of his stuff on it for free. He also has other Lone Wolf stuff that was not written by him, like the World of Greyhawk series of 4 books in the sorcery set in the Southern Continent. And those sorts of things, as well as things that he wrote outside of Lone Wolf that he gave to the people that are out there. So I will link you to Project Aeon below if you want to read one of his books or two of his books before taking a deep dive into it. Again, we're checking out the definitive collection of these books that I just picked up from Magnum Unpressed, which is a UK press, and they just came in the mail last week. So I've been reading basically one a day except for the first one. So here is the first book of the series. This is Flight from the Dark. It was originally published at 300 selections, and then this one has added 250. There's also a collector's edition in between these two for folks that want to go back and kind of knock it out again. Also, having hardcover for a game book helps because game books go and other choose your own adventure books or second-person books where you're going from one page to another and flipping around and back and forth take more beating because you're moving from one page and then you're moving back to another one and then you're flipping through forward and so forth. So they take a lot more beating. And these were all soft cover when they were initially published. Additionally, they add some things to the collector's edition. For example, they added a few sections to some of them, as well as additional adventures that are smaller and shorter and able to be done pretty quickly, starring secondary characters. Like I think one of them has Bandit, for example. Who's one of your key secondary figures and friends that you'll meet in the first book. And that sort of thing. Now, the first book that we've reviewed for you, I'll link it to you in the comments below, is a giant thick tome. They added a siege at the beginning. It's probably twice as long to knock out as the first one. But I was really surprised that the definitive collection of Fire on the Water is just a normal-sized 350-page hardcover. It's a nice hardcover. It's definitely pretty. It's got a lot of fun things going on for it. But I was a little surprised that it didn't add a bunch of sections to it and so forth. So I just knocked it out in about a couple hours for the first time in a few years. I typically go back to this series every 5 or 6 years and knock it out again, just for fun, because I really do enjoy it a lot. And again, you can do it for free online and that sort of a thing, which is really fun. And it's definitely a fun series. A lot of people consider Fire on the Water the hardest of the books in this series because there's a lot of hard stuff before you get to the Deus Ex Machina that's introduced, called the Summer Sword that you're questing for. In the first book, your Kai Monastery is destroyed. And in the collector's edition, you will help defend the Kai Monastery for about a 2-hour siege, going from page to page to page, fighting combat, making choices, choosing where to go, that sort of a thing, how to defend yourself. And then after you get done with that massive 2-hour siege, you're the only survivor of this ambush on the Kai Monastery that's begun a war again between your good kingdom of Summerland with the not that good kingdom of the Dark Lords of Heldegad, which are kind of like the key bad guys of this era. And so you are now rejoining a war that hasn't happened in a long time. And so in the first book, you are then traveling after the Kai Monastery has been destroyed through your now savaged countryside that's being attacked by all these bad guys while you try to get to King Olner and let him know what's happening. and that he can no longer lean on the Kai to support you. And that's the first book. The second book is you questing, is that like, now that they know that there's no more Kai left, and there's no way to stop this attack, you are being sent on a quest to a nearby nation's capital called Durenner, who's a big ally of Some England, and then you will find the Summer Sword, which is this big giant magic artifact that's used to kill Dark Lords and then bring it back and then kill the Dark Lords. And then the Summer Sword will stay with you and become a Deus Ex Machina for a lot of future battles. It's a big artifact. It's definitely worth your time. So that's kind of the key concept of this second novel for you. Now, I read it rather than doing the online one. I actually read it in the novel to see what changes are. There are some changes, like in some of the scripts and some of the texts and so forth. Like it mentions a few more Kai from your home in this definitive edition rather of Fire on the Water. So definitely, so I read it, that version rather than the online version on Project Aeon, and it was definitely a lot of fun. So definitely enjoy this novel. It does a lot of fun things that are definitely a little harder on you. So that's a lot of fun stuff that's happening. And you collect, again, the Summer Sword and some other stuff that'll become key things throughout your adventure. And this is definitely a high seas adventure. There are 2 times when you're on the seas that bad things will happen to you. So this definitely is considered a high seas sort of an adventure, if you will. A lot of fun stuff happens. The quest for the Summer Sword, which you'll then bring back and then use it to save your kingdom. And that's the basic sort of core concept of Fire on the Water, in case you haven't read it in the past. Again, it probably took me about 2 hours for me to read it last night, but again, I didn't die, right? Because I've read this book probably like 10, 15 times by now. So I know what choices to make, where to go, what to do, I know what I need to do in order to not die. I also know which combats are the key ones. Like, for example, but now in the first book, there were some surprises in case you were a veteran reader of the series that happened, that they add in characters that have changed and so forth, which I liked. In this case, in this definitive edition, there were no changes to veterans of readers of the long-term sort of things that are happening. So that's kind of cool. Again, I liked it. Thought it was a lot of fun. And next up is Caverns of Cult, which we'll also be reading the definitive edition for too. So there you are. I'm going to be giving this probably the original book. I probably would have given an 8 to when I was a kid. I'm probably going to just give the definitive edition a 7 out of 8 because it doesn't have a whole lot of extra sections that have been added to it that make it a whole lot deeper. It doesn't have any surprises for veterans that are going back and rereading this, or anything like that, like the previous book had. So I gave the previous book an 8 out of 10. This is I'm probably just going to be giving it a 7 out of 10 too. It's definitely, the first one fixed a lot of mistakes. Probably I would have given Flight from the Dark a 6 out of 10, but it fixed a lot of the mistakes and added a lot of different things and changed it up a whole lot. so I think it rose from probably a 6 to an 8. This one, because it doesn't add anything, but it's definitely a key card in this giant epic best-selling series, right? I'm going to be giving it a 7 too. So there you are. Once again, I do reviews for fantasy, science fiction, and horror, and I do not do spoilers. So if you want to talk about some of the spoilers in the comments below, hey, let's do it. If you enjoyed this video, why not hit that subscribe button? There's going to be a lot more of these to follow. And then finally, I want to thank you so much for taking some time out of your day and investing it and watching my video. We all have so many things that are happening in our lives, and we're pulled in so many different directions. So the fact that you spent this time with me is incredibly humbling, and I appreciate it. So thanks again, and have an amazing day.